So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your match preview for our team, Wolverhampton Wanderers, getting back in Premier League action away at the London Stadium against West Ham United. So then, the Bruno Lage press conference has just taken place. There's loads to get into, as all the usual in this. My thoughts ahead of the game, Magic Moss. We've got the views from the West Ham fan Gio from West Ham Chat, of course, and of course the score predictions. But before we get into that, fantastic news. The Always Wolves podcast has made the final of this year's Football Content Awards. So it would mean a real lot to all of us guys and girls here that work hard on the content and on the podcast if you could vote for us. Just look for the best Premier League podcast and vote for Always Wolves. We'll put the link in the description below. You can also vote for us on Twitter and Instagram as well. So let's get into the game. Bruno Lage has been talking. He's had his press conference ahead of the game against West Ham. There's loads of interesting things that have come out of this. Wang's come back with an injury from his South Korea international duty, so he's out. Raul Jimenez, he's talked about him, and one of the questions was, he's asked him about will he be fit by the World Cup, and he went, let's see. Waiting on an injury update for from the Wolves medical team, so that don't look good. Doesn't look good at all for Raul. And he's talked about Costa, and yeah, he said Costa's available. He's been training, and Diego Costa will be in the squad tomorrow. When asked whether he would start tonight, he said again, let's see. He's talked about, is it a must-win games, and he's talked about, well, goals win games. And he's also talked about feeling very confident that we play different with a striker and you'll see the best of the team. And he's very confident that by the time we get to the World Cup break, Wolves will be well and truly in mid-table or higher, basically. So let's hope that's true, because let's face it, Bruno Lage is on very, very thin ice, and the ice is cracking and the abyss below is starting to open up. If we don't start picking up points and goals, he's going to be a bit of a goner, and a lot of Wolves fans wouldn't be disappointed on that. I'm a little bit hoping he can turn it around and we can see, you know, great things, because I want any manager to be a success. But even me starting to have my doubts about whether that's going to happen under Bruno. It's such a terrible run of form. West Ham have also won 3 out of the last 4 meetings with Wolves, but both West Ham and Wolves are struggling with only scoring 3 goals. I've got a great stat which I'm going to give you towards the end of this video, so wait for that. Let's go on to my team. This is the team that I think is most likely to be put out. Obviously, Saw at the back. Well, I'm hoping it's Semedo over Aït-Nouri and Johnny Otto. And Kilman, obviously Collins suspended for 3 games. So does he bring in Mosquera or Totti Gomez? I think probably Totti Gomez. They might switch sides on what I've put on there. 4-2-3-1 I'd like to see with Neves, Moutinho and Nunes just behind. I'd like to see him play Neto on the left-hand side rather than an inverted winger. Guedes will probably get the nod over Adama, who is fit, but I wouldn't mind if Adama started. And it'd be great if Costa was fit enough to start up front, but I have my doubts on that, so it'd probably be Daniel Pedence. And obviously you'd have the likes of Costa and Chem Campbell on the bench. It's going to be really interesting to see what he does start with and the formation that we do play. It is a very, very important game for both sets of fans. And we're on to that. Let's go over and see what the West Ham fan, Gio from West Ham Chat, has to say, following by the thoughts from my dad and Magic Moss, and then I'll come back to you with a little bit more information and, of course, my score prediction and that interesting stat as well. Let's go over to Gio from West Ham Chat.
Hi Wolves fans, I used to be a big fan of Bruno Lage, not anymore. Used to be a big fan of the way you played under Bruno Lage, not so much anymore. Haven't been for a while. I find it quite boring, and I do worry for you if you keep him, actually. I think you need to sack Bruno Lage to get the best out of this Wolves squad, because you've got unbelievably talented players at that club, and I don't think he's getting the best out of them. However, we'll discuss that more on Sunday night. As for Saturday, I can't get excited about it. I fear for the worst for West Ham. 2 low-scoring sides, 3 goals each in the Premier League in 7 games. 6 goals between us in 14 games in Premier League. It's embarrassing, really. I think there's a lot of similarities between fan bases at the minute, which is we feel the managers perhaps picking their favourite players, the system's not quite working, or it's not getting the best out of the players on the pitch. We're not creating enough chances. It's not looking great for either team at the minute. It's not looking great for Saturday evening either. I wouldn't say I'm feeling the worst, but I'm certainly not expecting much from West Ham. My score prediction's 0-0, because what else do you give when 2 teams that can't score play each other? You know, this is the perfect game. Wolves is the perfect team for West Ham to play on Saturday, but West Ham is the perfect team for Wolves to be playing on Saturday as well. And I think we might see 2 managers that can't afford to lose this game, and therefore a bit of a dull affair at the London Stadium. However, I'll be back here on Sunday night to discuss the game and hopefully celebrating a Hammers win.
Thanks ever so much, mate. Let me know if you agree with what he says. Let's now go and see what Mr. Magic Moss, recovered from COVID, has to say on this game. So here he is, Magic Moss. How's it going, Dad?
Oh, fine, David. How are you?
Yeah, and who have you got with you today?
What's his name? I forgot his name now. Is it Derek? Oh, go on.
Derek. I thought that one was over there. I thought that was Derek. That's Derek, isn't it?
This is Sydney then, go on, Sydney.
I think it is Sydney. I think you got it right. Yes, Dad, you need to remember. Anyway, Dad, we're looking ahead. Football's back. Wolves away against West Ham. Both teams struggling down the bottom.
And Wolves got the full team, Ad, or what was
Well,
playing?
we won't know till Friday when
go
this will
on,
be
carry
going out after the press conference. But you know, what are you thinking? We got, you know, loads out. You know, all the strikers are injured. Diego Costa might be on the bench. Raul, I'm not sure if he'll be fit.
We're going to win. Well, good to be favourite. We're going to win 2-0.
And what do you base that on, Dad? As we've only scored 3 goals.
Well,
We've only scored 3 goals in 7 games, and we're going to win 2-0.
We know that, but they've got to get it right, David. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble, ain't we? So I'm still sticking with the Wolves, and we're going to win 2-0.
And who's going to score the goals, Dad?
Well, there's only one chap I know who bloody score goals. That's Bonanza.
Yeah, hopefully he'll have another miss it, and that'll go in. Yeah, and who else?
We'll have, I don't know, who do we have next? We'll have Royal if he's playing.
I don't think he'll be starting, Dad. I wouldn't go with Royal. Who else you got?
Take Cody out there, Cody.
No, Dad, he's in at Everton. Oh dear me, it's going downhill rapidly. This is. Come on.
We'll have Neves.
Neves.
Yeah, go on.
Ruben Neves.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Dad. And what's your song to sing us out?
When you're smiling,
Let's hope we are.
keep on smiling. The world will stay with you. When you're laughing, keep on laughing. And the sun comes shining through. Just keep on smiling. Oh, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
Oh, well done, Dad. Toot toot, boot toot, doot doot. Anyway, Dad, love you lots.
Love you, David.
Always
Look
Wolves.
after yourself, David, and everybody else.
Oh.
Always Wolves, David.
Thanks ever so much to my dad. As always, much appreciated. So, look, I'll be honest with you, I'm not amazingly positive or optimistic. I'm wondering where the goals are going to come from, like all of us. I mean, this is the interesting stat that I've got. You know, Wolves and West Ham have only scored 3 goals each. Wolves have only scored in the first half of games this season, and West Ham have only scored in the second half of games. So that's a crazy stat for me. I'm going to just be positive and optimistic and hope. I'm going to the game as usual, so we'll be doing the reaction straight after the match. Of course, we'll be doing the match vlog. We'll have the IFR and all that coming. I'm going to hope that we can win the game 2-1. I think with Collins out, it might be difficult to not concede, but I'm hoping that we get a goal, whether it's another Neves worldie or another miss-hit from Daniel Pedenza I've got starting up front. But I think Diego Costa will come off the bench at some point, And wouldn't it be marvellous if he puts himself about and gets a goal? That would be glorious, especially if it's the winner. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I do think if Wolves perform badly and get beaten, the writing could be on the wall for Bruno Lage. But he believes that Wolves' form's going to turn, and I believe and I hope that he's right. What do you believe? Let's see in the comment section below. Until then, anyway, until the next one, I'm Dazzling Dave. Don't forget to vote for us on the Football Content Awards, link in the description below. Always Wolves.